hit on by a lady today.
I think. This morning I went to Starbucks today to get a coffee like usual. It was a girl she wasn't on a motorcycle. She was like parked at the car parking spot on the motorcycle, right? And I parked next to her because, you know, there was a parking spot there and I wanted to park my car so I could go to Starbucks. I parked the car, I close my door, I get out of the car, I close the door. I'm like texting my mom, so I'm just standing there. And then she goes, oh, hey, miss, excuse me. I'm like, yes. She like said if I could spell, what was the word? It was like a weird word. Let me see. And she was like, can you spell like sex? She was trying to get me to spell some word backwards and I was very confused. She's like, can you spell like nexus or sexist or some weird word backwards? And I was like, yeah, like success or something. And I was very confused and I was like, and I was like, oh. And then I kind of panicked because sex was in it. It was like some weird word. And I was like, oh. And then she's like, yeah, thank you. And I was like, oh. She's like, I'm going to go over there. So if you're here later, I'd love to hit you up. I'm like, oh, okay. And then they left. And then I went into Starbucks. I was very confused. I still don't even know the word they were trying to get me to spell. I was very confused. She was asking me to spell some weird word that had like XES in it. And I was very lost. And I'm like, I think she kind of saw how lost I was. And then she was just like, yeah. Like hyping me a little bit. And then she was just like, I'll be over there and I'll be right back. So if you're here, I'd love to like see you or something. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I went to go get my Starbucks. I stayed there for a little bit. And then, I don't know, I noticed that they weren't there anymore. So I'm like, oh, it's okay. I'll just go home. That's so weird.
Mwah! 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 Mwah!